What's up, boys? We're going to be talking about some NBA player props today. We got an early game. It's 3:30, so we're going to be taking a look at some of these games here. But before I hop into this, if anyone is new, make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on post notifications. Also, if you guys are already on prizepicks, this video applies to all player props, but I definitely recommend joining prizepicks. Great website. The lines are usually a little bit under some other sites, which is great if you like taking overs, in my opinion. But yeah, use code DOMG when you guys sign up. They match your first deposit up to $100. Definitely recommend prizepicks. Great website. But yeah, also my Patreon. Patreon was pretty good last night. We were 6-3, should have been 7-2. So we're always striving to be a little bit better. But should have been 7-2, but we got screwed over by one basket, so that kind of sucks. But it happens. But going for a little bit better today, but 6-3, not absolutely awful. But those are $10 a month. And you guys get my picks every single day, whether it's NFL, NBA, or whatever else I'm doing. So definitely recommend joining that. That link is in the description. And also join the free Discord. That link is in the description. But if you guys do join the Patreon, I'll add you into the premium Discord with all the other Patreon members. But yeah. So links in the description. Promo code for prizepicks, Patreon link, and the Discord all in the description. So yeah, if you guys are interested in the Patreon, definitely join us over there. A ton of you guys have been joining. Seriously do appreciate you guys. But we're going to go ahead and hop straight into this now. I'll stop talking as much. Let's go ahead and talk about the first one here. That has been killing everyone. Jarrett Allen, 16.5 right here. Great play, in my opinion. I love him every single night. He only screwed us over one time. But he's had 21, 13, 25, 17, and 28 in his last 5. I believe he's 9 and 10. 9 for 10 in his last 10. I believe that. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure he is. But 16.5 right here for Jarrett Allen. Definitely like it. Let's take a look at the game here. So, Cleveland Cavaliers game here. Let's take a look at this here. So, he should be starting at center. This expected lineup. Yesterday, we got screwed because DeAndre Ayton ended up not playing when he was projected to be in the lineup. So, that kind of sucks. So, always, you kind of got to be aware sometimes. But, yeah, Jarrett Allen here should be starting at center tonight. 223 over-under. That's good. In 6.5 point spread. Not horrible. You kind of want it to be a little less than that. You want a little closer games if you're taking the overs on some games. But there's a lot of games with some big spreads today, I feel like. That game should be really close. Miami and Chicago. That should be a good one. But, yeah, this Memphis game could end up being a blowout. And these three right here could also be blowouts. So 8.5, 7, and 6.5. So kind of got to be aware of some of these. I wouldn't be too worried about these two games right here. But we're taking a look at this here. So let's hop back to Jarrett Allen here. So center going against the Kings. Let's take a look at center here and how much the Kings are allowing to centers. So Kings, they're a little bit on the easier side, I feel like here. So they're allowing a lot of rebounds too, so maybe even want to rock with Jarrett Allen rebounds. That could maybe be a good play. But yeah, Sacramento Kings allowing about 21.88 points to centers so far this season. So should be pretty good for Jarrett Allen to hit the over. I'm liking the numbers. His hit rates in the past couple games, it's not a hard matchup. So should be pretty good. Let's take a look at number 5 here, see what they have for Jarrett Allen today. They have him at 16.8 points. So they like him on the over by about 0.3. They're looking for 12 rebounds today, though. I think what's he at? 10.5 rebounds? It might be more because he's at 11.5. He's usually at about 10.5. Oof. Yeah, that's a high number. I don't really want to touch that. But I was hoping he'd be at like 10.5, but he's not. So yeah, got that one out of the way. Jarrett Allen, I definitely like him at 6.5 on the over. 16.5, I meant. Let's take a look at some rebounds here. Let's take a look at Vucevic. So very easy matchup. The Heat have been allowing a lot of rebounds in these recent games. So I wouldn't pay attention too much. Well, you got to pay attention to the hit rate, but I wouldn't be too worried. I'm more focused on the matchup here with the Heat. They've been allowing a lot of defensive rebounds. So I think Vucevic has a really good shot today of going over. Let's take a look at this game, though. Literally half a point spread. So this game should definitely not be a blowout, even with them missing 500 different players. But 209 over-under, that's a pretty good spread for taking overs on rebounds, I feel like. But center going against the Miami Heat. Let's see what they're allowing all season. So Miami here is allowing, they're about right. Nah, they're a little bit on the harder side. But again, recency, they've been allowing a lot more. So still 14.73 right there. Let's take a look at where they have Vucevic at on number 5 for rebounds. They have him at 10.8, so they agree with me, like him over by 0.3 once again. So yeah, I definitely think Vucevic can hit the over today. He just hit against Cleveland, hit against Charlotte. Did miss these 3 games, but those are a lot harder matchups, I think. So I think he can definitely grab some rebounds tonight. At least I definitely hope so. He's been screwing a lot of people over, so kind of be aware of that. But I don't know. I kind of liked him tonight. Let's take a look at, let's hop over to rebounds again. Let's take a look at Wesley Johnson. So this is one of the later ones. There's not really a late game, though. Is he not on here? No, I guess he's not on here. Okay. Never mind. We're going to skip that one because he's not on the board yet. At least I thought he was. I don't know. Let's take a look at assists here. So this one's interesting. Franz Wagner, he's been killing this prop here. 3.5. 5 out of 5 hit rate. He said 4, 6, 5, 5, and 5. He was at 3 earlier. I took him on the Patreon. Showed you guys on the Patreon that I took him at 3 assists earlier today. And he's currently at 3.5. So they bumped him up. So I kind of assumed they would. So that's why I kind of took it a little sooner. But this one's a little tough because you don't really have a guy to pair him with. I don't like any really players. We'll talk about one more. But I don't really like too many people from this Orlando Magic and the Clippers game. But I do like Franz Wagner over assists. That's really the only one I like. But you kind of got to be aware of the blowout. Over-under is a little bit on the lower side, but it's not absolutely horrible. But I don't know. Let's take a look at, though, assist to small forwards that the Clippers are allowing. Just take a look at that. So the Clippers are, they're a little bit on the harder side for assists, but with his hit rate, I wouldn't be too worried about that. I think I'm just going to keep on riding with him, man. I think he's hitting his last 8, so he's hit at least 4 assists in his last 8, so that is something to note, and I like it. I liked it a lot more at 3 assists. I'm still a little bit worried with it being 3.5, even with the good hit rate. I think he's only had one game in like his last 20 where he's had 3 assists, but I don't know. I still like it 3.5, but I liked it a lot more at 3. So I don't know. Should still be pretty good, but the problem is you don't really want to pair him up with anyone from later games, just in case there's players like Rudy here that might play, could affect some other guys in the lineup. Like, it's just kind of tough. Like Caruso here, you don't really want to mess with the Bulls quite yet, offensively, points-wise. So one that if you want to play with Franz here for an early game, I would recommend pairing with someone like from the Cavs maybe, who don't really have any players that are questionable or anything. But yeah, I don't know. I would, if you want to do just early games, we'll take a look at Morris here, Marcus Morris. He's hitting his last 4, which is good, so he needs 16. He's had 20, 17, 21, 21, and 2. So I'm not sure what happened that game. Maybe that was just a complete outlier. He got hurt or something. I don't really know what happened that game. But the Clippers here, let's take a look at this here. So again, blowout potential, kind of be aware of that. He probably won't get his full minutes. But power forward going against the Magic, see what they are allowing. So the Magic are allowing actually the most points to power forward. So maybe we shouldn't even really be that worried. Maybe Marcus Morris goes over this number pretty easily, considering they're allowing the most, even maybe without those minutes. So maybe Marcus Morris and Franz Wagner assists are a good pair. So potentially a good pair right there. But really, I'm not taking Morris. I don't think. I've only taken Franz, so I'm not going to take him twice today. But yeah, could be a good play there with Franz and Morris if you guys are trying to get the early games right there. But let's take a look at the final one here that I like for today. Not messing with fantasy score, not messing with 3-pointers made yet. I want Garrison Matthews on the board. He's not on the board yet. Hopefully I still drop him at 2.5 3-pointers because he has been killing that. So I love that one yesterday, and he hit for sure. Doug McDermott here. 5 for 5 hit rate. I like him half of the game and full game. So both really can apply. I'll tell you guys right now, though, pretty much giving you guys my Patreon picks. So I took McDermott first half with Franz Wagner assists. So a little bit of free trial for the Patreon if you want to consider it that way. But I took Doug McDermott first half over 5.5 points. So he didn't score 6 points in the first half. What just happened? I think someone else got added. They had the Rockets yet? Oh, they did. Tate and Wood. Is like Garrison Matthews on yet? They don't have him on yet, unless they were already there. Yeah, they haven't added Garrison Matthews yet. They're probably being careful with him. But Doug McDermott here, I like him first half. I like him full game. 17, 13, 14, 13, 16 in his last 5. He's been hitting pretty well. 14.6 in his last 5 on average. So let's take a look at the Spurs game here. So Spurs, McDermott, small forward going against the Denver Nuggets. Take a look at what they're allowing. So the Denver Nuggets are one of the harder matchups, so that is something to account. But with his recent hit rate, I'm not that worried about matchups. It just depends. I mean, if it's a really hard matchup, like if he was playing Utah, I'd probably be a little bit more aware because they are really, really good against small forwards. They're allowing like a whole 2 numbers less than them. But I don't know. I still like the matchup. I don't like the matchup, but I like the play still in McDermott. And like I said, I took him in the first half, so I like him scoring 6 in the first half for sure. But that's pretty much going to do it for the video, man. I appreciate you guys watching. Again, if anyone is new, make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on post notifications. Those 3 things are going to help me out, man. But I think that's pretty much going to do it. Appreciate you watching. All the links are in the description, by the way. Again, Discord, Patreon link, and the prizepicks link. If you guys are not on prizepicks, highly, highly recommend it. Great website. But that's going to do it, man. Appreciate you watching. I'll see you guys next time.